We're building a superintelligence that we might never be able to control. The experts are divided. Some say it's impossible to stop. Here is why the attack surface is now infinite and why your safety is at risk.
And activists to prevent catastrophe. In this presentation, we're speaking with Dr. Roman Yampolsky to explore why we may be building something we can never control and what this means for anyone building, funding, or regulating AI. Dr. Roman Yampolsky is a globally recognized and world-leading author and researcher who pioneered the field of AI containment. He has over 200 publications on AI risk and superintelligence, including the Foundational Texts, Artificial Superintelligence, A Futuristic Approach, and AI Unexplainable, Unpredictable, Uncontrollable. His research has influenced major AI labs like OpenAI and DeepMind, as well as government agencies and global policy. Roman served as a fellow at the Machine Intelligence Research Institute, or MIRI, and the Foresight Institute, was faculty at the Future of Life Institute, and a senior member of the IEEE, and a part of both the Global Catastrophic Risk Institute and Singularity University. He is a signatory of the Pause Giant AI Experiments open letter. Roman is most known for pioneering the field of AI containment and warning of instrumentally convergent behaviors that could lead to uncontrollable superintelligent systems. Today, we'll be sharing the same frameworks Roman has presented to top labs and policymakers. And something that really impressed me about Roman is how he bridges computer security and theoretical AI safety, making the case for rigorous adversarial thinking about future AGI. Roman Yampolsky, welcome to Better Societies.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
So first off, in your own words, can you briefly tell us a little bit about why you are currently focused on, or what you're currently focused on AI safety research?
I'm still looking at different limits and what is possible in the space of controlling, understanding those systems. There is no shortage of limits. We published a paper with about 50 different impossibility results coming from every major subdiscipline: mathematics, politics, economics, and maybe so far we looked at maybe 6 in terms of how they relate to safety and control, but there is definitely a lot more work to do.
And tell us briefly, why do you believe containment is the central unsolved problem for superintelligence?
So containment is a subset of tools we considered for buying us more time for better studying and understanding those agents. The main problem is control, trying to figure out how to get something smarter than you to actually obey your orders, but in a meaningful sense, not in a sense of direct order following, which a lot of times leads to what we call genie problem, where your second wish is always to undo the first one. You realized you asked for something you didn't really want, and the system just delivered that without any concern for you.
And in short, can you tell us a little bit about how your work can benefit founders, researchers, investors, policymakers, governments, and activists, and why they should prioritize this work now?
In the short term, before we get to AGI or superintelligence, you just have useful AI tools, which still need to be understood in terms of what their limits, in terms of how they make decisions. Explaining precise mechanics behind those systems is an ongoing project for many labs.
All right. So I will present Roman's topic, and then we'll jump into your presentation. What if the first superintelligent system we build is fundamentally uncontrollable? In this masterclass, Dr. Roman Yampolsky will present the sobering reality of where AI safety research stands today and why we're not ready for what's coming. You'll discover the current state of AI capabilities and predicted trajectory toward artificial general intelligence, or AGI, and superintelligence, fundamental obstacles preventing the development of provably safe AI systems, the control problem, why traditional safety measures fail at higher intelligence levels, ethical and security challenges posed by advanced intelligent machines, and why explainability, predictability, and controllability may be theoretically impossible at superintelligence levels. This is not a hopeful, here's how we solve AI risk talk. This is the reality check the field needs from someone who's spent decades trying to find solutions and documenting why the problem is harder than almost anyone realizes. If you're building AI safety solutions, investing in them, researching them, or working in policy, you need to understand the full scope of the challenge before you can meaningfully contribute to any solution. Roman, please go ahead and share your screen.
All right, let's see if we can figure it out. All right, please confirm that we're good. You see my slides, you see me, you hear me, all is go.
All is good.
All right, so first, thank you so much for inviting me to give a talk. This is a bit of an introduction to the general problem and then to maybe the last 10 years of my research. If you want to learn more, you are always welcome to follow me on social media. I have a lot of information, papers, books posted for those who want to learn additional details. So maybe a couple years ago, something happened which was a real game changer. We went from 50 years of AI research on narrow systems where everyone was designing something very specific, chess playing program, maybe self-driving automation of some kind, to the first model which showed what people call sparks of generality, a model which was able to learn new skills and was demonstrating very high level of capability in mathematics, physics, quite a few subdomains, competitive with some college students. And the best part, or the worst part, was that the model was scalable. We think that if we just add more compute and more data to that architecture, it continues getting better. The scaling hypothesis, which so far has been confirmed as still not hitting diminishing returns. And so what that means is we are not waiting for some novel breakthrough to happen to make a more capable system. We can just convert dollars into additional compute, additional resources, which leads to additional improvements in how general those systems are. And of course, immediately when people hear about scaling hypothesis, they want to know, well, how soon before we get to AGI, to human level performance, to that level of capability. And I don't make those predictions myself. I trust others to make them for me. The best tool we have for predicting future is prediction markets. And depending on what definition of AGI you use, for something like weak AGI, you can find predictions around 2027, which is now very soon. And if you look at predictions from leaders of top AI labs, it is also maybe a couple of years away. Of course, they have some incentive to misrepresent how good their product is because they're fundraising, but there seems to be a lot of convergence on those dates. Those are not completely novel predictions. If you look at work of futurists like Ray Kurzweil, who mapped compute versus capability a very long time ago, he perfectly nailed the 2023 as compute sufficient to simulate one human brain. That's where we saw the GPT model come out with its generality. And he's saying that by 2045, we'll have enough compute to simulate the whole humanity, all 8 billion brains in terms of at least computational capacity, not necessarily software capacity. He has updated some predictions to show that maybe long before that we'll get to full human level capability, and those dates may be matching what we see with prediction markets and what we see with other kind of exponential curves all trying to converge around this region. So what are the properties of those systems? What we can expect from them is in some ways very obvious. If you're building superintelligence, you will definitely deal with something very smart. We saw this level of performance in many narrow domains. Games are especially easy to measure in terms of capability versus human players. And so for games like chess, Go, the dominant agent, the dominant player is now always computer. Humans are not competitive in those spaces unless they cheat in some way. We predict that same level of superintelligent capability will be also coming to science and engineering, which are meta skills, allowing for those systems to engage in research process of developing next generation of AI systems, leading to a self-improvement, recursive self-improvement process, which will rely less and less on human engineers, human researchers.